Let's be real. Choosing a life partner is one of the most significant decisions you'll ever make. Yet, when it comes to picking the right person, many of us find ourselves feeling uncertain. We turn to istikhara, seek advice from friends, and even scroll through social media for some kind of guidance. But deep down, the same question lingers. How will I know if this person is truly meant for me by Allah? Dear brothers and sisters, we live in a time where emotions, societal pressures, and confusion cloud our judgment. Many enter marriage based on superficial factors like appearance, vibes, or simply because their family approves, only to spend years questioning whether they made the right choice. But the reality is, Allah doesn't leave His servants in the dark. He provides signs, opens doors, and grants clarity, if we truly seek it with sincerity. In this video, we'll explore 5 clear signs that show Allah's guidance in choosing the right partner. This isn't just about emotions or vague feelings. These are grounded in Islamic wisdom, real-life experiences, and the subtle ways Allah guides our hearts, even when we don't fully understand it. Have you ever felt that someone came into your life for a purpose, but you weren't sure if it was a test or a blessing? Stay tuned. Your answer might be closer than you think. No. 1. Allah makes the path easy without you forcing it. You know what's crazy? Sometimes we're so obsessed with making something work, we don't even realize we're the only one pushing, calling, convincing, begging, chasing approvals, pleasing one side while breaking ourselves on the other. And then we call it true love. But my dear brothers and sisters, when Allah writes someone for you, you won't have to exhaust yourself to keep them. One of the first signs that Allah is guiding you towards someone is this. The path opens without you constantly trying to force it. Yes, there might be challenges, but the pieces start falling into place in a way you can't explain. It feels guided. Jabir ibn Abdullah said, "A servant does not have faith until he believes in divine providence, both its good and its harm, and until he knows that what afflicted him could never have missed him, and what missed him could have never afflicted him." Because when it's from Allah, things may take time, but they don't drain your soul. Your istikhara gives you peace. Conversations move forward, doors open, hearts soften. You're not constantly fighting just to keep things afloat. Let me ask you, have you ever had something feel so difficult, so heavy, that you had to fake your happiness just to keep it alive? Compare that to the things in your life that came naturally, where Allah made the way even when you didn't expect it. Sometimes, the biggest clue that someone is not written for you is when you're the only one holding the whole thing together. So if you feel like you're constantly pushing just to keep the relationship alive, it might not be a love story, it might be a lesson. No. 2. Allah removes the wrong people before He shows you the right one. Let's be real, some of the people you desperately prayed to Allah to keep in your life were actually sent as a test, not a blessing. And here's the hard truth. Before Allah brings the person who's truly meant for you, He might first allow you to experience heartbreak, not to break you, but to cleanse your heart from what doesn't belong. You might have thought they were the one. The connection felt strong, the bond seemed genuine, but no matter how much you tried, things kept going wrong. Arguments, distance, sudden changes, or silence. You're left wondering, why would Allah take them away after all the du'as I made? But here's the reality. You were praying for the right person, and Allah was simply removing the wrong one. Remember the story of Prophet Yusuf. He was thrown into a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned, all before Allah gave him what was truly meant for him. It wasn't because he was forgotten, but because sometimes pain is Allah's way of protecting you. So, if someone walked away suddenly, or a relationship ended despite your efforts and your heart was broken in ways you never expected. Maybe that wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When Allah's plan is involved, it doesn't leave you lost or begging for respect. It doesn't make you compromise your self-worth just to make things work. If you're grieving someone who walked away, don't think Allah ignored your du'as. Sometimes the removal of the wrong people is the first sign that the right one is on the way. No. 3. Allah doesn't guide you to marriage through haram. Let's be straightforward. If your relationship started in haram, don't expect it to end in blessing. Today, it's easy for people to fall into traps. A casual message turns into a long conversation, a joke becomes a habit, and before you know it, two people are forming a bond that's not even halal, and then they start calling it love. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't begin by disobeying the one who created love itself. Allah will never guide you to your spouse through a haram path. Never. He doesn't build sacred bonds using sin. He doesn't bring someone into your life who leads you to disobedience and call it a test. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "There is nothing like marriage for two who love each other." That doesn't mean flirting, sneaking around, or hiding relationships that thrive in secrecy. And if you're thinking, "But we're planning to make it halal soon," ask yourself, if your love story requires hiding from your parents, ignoring Islamic boundaries, and going against Allah's commands, then who is truly guiding it? We live in a time where even young people are falling into haram relationships, believing they're doing nothing wrong. But remember, what starts with sin ends in pain. It may feel exciting now, but trust me, haram always comes with consequences. The worst part is that it clouds your judgment. When you're in a haram relationship, emotions blind you to the red flags. And when you finally want to make things right, your heart is already attached to something that Allah never blessed. If you want to recognize the person Allah has written for you, purify your path first. Let go of what's wrong, end what you're hiding, and then watch how Allah brings someone into your life in a way that doesn't involve guilt or shame, but instead light and peace. So, if you truly want to recognize who Allah wrote for you, purify your path first. Let go of what you know is wrong, end what you're hiding, and then watch how Allah brings someone in a way that doesn't involve guilt or shame, only light and peace. No. 4. You start changing yourself before the right person even appears. Sometimes the clearest sign from Allah isn't in them, it's in you. Before Allah brings the right person into your life, He starts working on your heart first, quietly, internally. No announcements, no signs in the sky, just a shift. You suddenly start taking your deen more seriously. You leave that haram relationship you knew wasn't right. You stop flirting with people online. You start praying on time, not to impress anyone, but because you want to be clean when you stand before your Lord. And maybe you don't even realize it at the time, but Allah is preparing you because the one written for you, they're being prepared too. And when two hearts are being purified separately by Allah, He brings them together at the exact moment they're ready. But here's what most people miss. They keep asking, "Where is the right person?" while ignoring the fact that they themselves might not be ready yet. And that's okay, because preparation is part of the mercy. So, if you find yourself slowly improving, leaving sins, becoming more conscious of your character, and finally letting go of people who were never meant to stay, then don't rush, don't panic, don't doubt Allah's timing. This change in you, this shift in your values, that's not random, that's a sign. Because Allah doesn't just send the right person, He shapes you into the right version of yourself so that when you meet, you're both standing in front of each other with clean intentions, honest hearts, and nothing to hide. And that's not just a marriage, that's a gift. No. 5. You feel peace after istikhara. even if it's not what you expected. Let's be real, istikhara is one of the most misunderstood gifts in Islam. People think it's going to come with a dream, a glowing sign, or some magical moment where everything just makes sense. But the truth is, most of the time, Allah answers with peace. You do istikhara, you leave the decision in His hands, and then something settles inside you. You don't feel anxious, you're not overthinking, you're not chasing signs every day, you just feel calm. And maybe the person isn't exactly what you pictured. Maybe they don't tick every single box. Maybe your heart still has a few hesitations, but deep down, there's no war inside you. That's a sign. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that when something is right, Allah makes the heart content. Not excited like a movie romance, but content, tranquil, confident in a quiet way. Sometimes the opposite happens. You do istikhara, things fall apart, conversations dry up, your heart feels disturbed, unsettled, unsure. And it hurts because you wanted it to work. But what if that discomfort was your answer? What if Allah was removing what you wanted to protect you from what you couldn't see? The power of istikhara isn't in getting what you want. It's in trusting Allah even when He says no. So, if you did istikhara and felt peace, even though it wasn't flashy, even though it wasn't emotional, even though it didn't match your plans, hold on to that. Because peace after prayer is not random. It's your Lord quietly whispering, "This is better for you." My dear brothers and sisters, choosing who to marry isn't just a decision, it's a journey. A journey that tests your patience, your faith, and your trust in Allah's plan. Sometimes the signs are clear, sometimes they show up in ways you didn't expect, and sometimes Allah gives you silence, not because He's ignoring you, but because He's protecting you until the right time. But here's the truth. If you're sincere, Allah will guide you. Maybe not through dreams or dramatic moments, but through the soft calmness in your heart, through the redirections you didn't understand at the time, through the people He removed, and the version of you He's been patiently shaping. Because marriage in Islam isn't about falling in love, it's about rising in faith together. So, if you're still waiting, still confused, still healing from what didn't work, don't give up. Allah isn't late. He's just preparing something greater than what you're asking for. And if this message touched your heart in any way, then take a moment and comment this short dua below. Ya Allah, guide me to what's best for my deen, my heart, and my future. That simple line could inspire someone else who's silently struggling. And before you go, don't forget to like this video if it brought you peace and subscribe if you want more reminders like this. It costs you nothing, but it helps us keep spreading these reminders to hearts that need them most. May Allah bless you with a spouse who protects your heart, strengthens your faith, and walks with you toward Jannah. Ameen. Until next time, stay sincere, stay patient, and trust the one who never fails His promises.